Thank you for your patience. We had an executive session and had a little trouble logging into our computers, but all is good and we're ready to get started. Thank you for joining us this evening. And with that, we'll have roll call.
All board members are present.
Wonderful. Next, we'll have the Pledge of Allegiance. And I ask that following the pledge, you stay standing for a moment of silence. We lost a student at Smoky Row this past week, and our thoughts and prayers are with the family. We'd just like to, out of respect, just have a moment of silence. So please rise. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Dr. Wall, I'll let you go ahead and present our Spotlight on Excellence, which we're excited to hear about.
Thank you. Very exciting opportunity this evening to celebrate one of our students and their ability to give back to those that are in need. I'd like to recognize Mrs. Kathy Olson, Principal of Collegewood, here tonight. Thank you for being here, Kathy. I'd like to invite Mrs. J.C. Snyder to the podium, please. J.C.'s going to talk to us about one of her students, Kara Hacker, and how we should all be so proud of this young lady.
Good evening, and thank you for your time. My name is J.C. Schneider, and I have the privilege of teaching 5th grade challenge at Collegewood Elementary School. Many of you have probably heard of Genius Hour, but for those of you who have not, Genius Hour is a movement that allows students to explore their own passions and encourages creativity in the classroom. Genius Hour has its roots in the search engine giant, Google. Google allows its engineers to spend 20% of their time to work on any project they wish. The idea is very simple. Allow people to work on something that interests them, and productivity will go up. Google's policy has worked so well that it has been said that 50% of Google's projects have been created during this creative time period. Gmail and Google News are just 2 examples of products derived from the employees of Google having had the time to explore their interests through Genius Hour. The same Genius Hour principles apply in the classroom as they do in the corporate environment. Students are provided with a set amount of time to work on a passion project. The students are challenged to explore something about which they want to learn more. They complete a semester-long project, spending several weeks researching the topic before they start creating a product that will be shared with the class, school, and possibly the world. I began facilitating Genius Hour in my classroom about 2 years ago, and I am so happy that I did. I have seen wonderful ideas from students take them to places far beyond our classroom walls, allowing them to truly make a difference in their community and the world around them. Tonight I have the pleasure of introducing to you my student, Kara Hacker, and how her wonderful passion project for the love of books made a difference. Kira decided she wanted her Genius Hour project to focus on how to create a nonprofit organization that would focus on benefiting others. Given her academic interests, as an avid reader herself, Kira decided to go the route of an organization that would provide the opportunity for others to develop a love for reading, just as she enjoys reading. Kira realized that not all individuals have the means to easily access reading materials, and in that thought, her idea was born. I would now like to invite Kira to share with you more about her idea, how it started, how it came to be, and how she was recently able to have a major impact on a nearby community.
Hi, my name is Kira Hacker, and as Mrs. Schneider said, my passion is books. I love reading them, and one of my favorite places to go is the library. I have always been fortunate enough to have access to all the books I could ever want, but I realized that others do not. This is how For the Love of Books came to be. The first stage of my project was getting all the books. I used social media, mostly Facebook and the website Next Door Neighbor, to reach out to people and ask them to donate books. I asked my friends and their parents. I asked my family. People dropped off books at my house, and I went to their houses to pick them up. By the end, I had collected almost 1,000 books. I got all kinds of books: fiction, nonfiction, early readers, joke books, and picture books. I really liked the selection we got because we got a lot of different kinds, and everyone likes to read different things. The next stage was sorting all the books. I sorted them so that I could display them in sections so people could find what interests them. It took a lot of time to sort all the books, and I mean a lot of time. It also took a lot of time to put the books into the bins where they would fit and where I would know which type of book was which. The next step was finding somebody to give the books out to. I chose Stoutfield Elementary. I found Stoutfield in a news article that was talking about Stoutfield's food pantries, and I thought, if these families needed help getting food, maybe they needed help getting books too. Maybe I could give books instead of food. I emailed their principal, Tim Wickard, about the idea, and he said yes. He was very excited about the idea. On December 19th, we gave the books out to Stoutfield. The books took a lot of space in our car. It also took a lot of trips to get them out to the car, but the books made it out. I arranged the books by genre and on a bunch of tables, and I gave away almost all of the books. People were surprised that we were giving away books, and they asked how many they could take. I told them they could take as many as they wanted. They were even more surprised then. It was a very successful event.
Congratulations, Kira. Seeing that we have nobody wishing to participate in public participation, we'll move straight into consent. May I get a motion on the table to approve consent?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Discussion? All in favor? Aye. Next on the agenda, we've got a series of action items. First action item is going to be the bid award for the 2017 finishes and renovations at the high school. Mr. McMichael.
Thank you. This total bid award is in the amount of $459,740. This project is being paid for from the 2016 general obligation bonds, which the board approved selling at the August 22nd, 2016 meeting. These finishes are primarily in the area of the media center, the F-wing classrooms, and the terrazzo flooring is in the main east-west corridor extending from the activities office west to door 9.
Thank you, Mr. McMichael. May I get a motion on the table to approve the recommended, the 2017 finishes for the renovations at Carmel High School?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Discussion. I do have one question, and I should have asked this ahead of time, but
That's
I was
okay.
just mentally thinking about the terrazzo flooring in the main hallway. When is the last time that we have had that renovated?
Well, that floor is original with the construction of that part of the building. I
Oh,
don't
okay.
recall offhand, but it was what's there now is the original floor.
Okay. Thank you.
In the entrance?
Yes.
Okay.
Any other questions? All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Thank you. Next, we have the wireless network upgrade for all Carmel Place schools. Mr. McMichael.
Yes, and this bid award totals $821,664.02. It also is being funded through the sale of the 2016 general obligation bonds. And again, this will provide additional access points in classrooms and common areas throughout the building, or throughout the school district. Should be finished in about 120 days.
Fantastic. Can I get a motion on the table to approve the wireless network upgrade for all of our Carmel Clay schools?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Discussion? Please.
Could you explain the structured cabling?
Not very well.
Put me one of them.
I'll ask Christy to take care of that.
Structured cabling is what actually allows us to connect the access points back to the network. So they'll run cabling to each classroom where there is not already an existing access point, and so it will allow the access point to them.
Okay, so this would be for computers and the wireless network, so it incorporates both. I mean, this is incorporating just the computers.
This only incorporates the wireless access point. The wireless access point will have a cable that runs back to the main MDF of each building.
Oh, okay.
Thank you, Christy. Any other questions? Well, I will say it's pretty exciting to see a lot of the technology, strategic planning efforts come into fruition.
Yes.
So thank you. All in favor of supporting a wireless network upgrade for all of our Carmel Clay schools signify by saying aye. Aye. Thank you. Next, we have the addition and renovations to the main transportation facility. Mr. McMichael.
Yes, this bid award is in the amount of $1,068,200. This was actually part of the, or is funded by the 2015 general obligation bond sale. This project was bid, and those bids were rejected a year ago as they came in over our budget. And we would plan to start this project this spring yet.
Thank you. Can I get a motion on the table to approve the addition and renovations to the main transportation facility?
So move.
Second?
Second.
Discussion. All in favor? Aye. Next, bid award, drainage improvement project at Carmel High School. Mr. McMichael.
Thank you. This is, the total bid award for this project is $189,552, or $552,000, and this is replacing a collapsed drainage system just west of the Murray soccer field stadium.
May I get a motion on the table to approve the drainage improvement project at the high school?
So moved.
Second? Discussion. All in favor? Aye. And last but not least, we have the temperature controls at Carmel Clay Clay Middle School in Creekside.
Yes, thank you. This is a total bid award of $910,382. This also was part of the 2016 general obligation bonds. And this will replace the existing temperature controls as that system has become obsolete.
Thank you, Mr. McMichael. May I get a motion on the table to approve the temperature controls at both Clay and Creekside Middle Schools?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Discussion. All in favor? Oh, nope. Did you raise your hand?
Yeah.
Pam.
Yes. Can you explain, is this a whole system, or is, what does this entail with this temperature control system?
Well, the buildings have temperature controls now. This is some of the contact points and so forth, I believe, we'll use those, but this replaces basically the front end part of the system.
Okay.
And all the electronics associated with that.
Okay, so this has nothing to do with the furnace and...
No.
Any other questions? Motion on the table is to approve. All in favor of approving the temperature control signify by saying aye. Aye. Thank you. And Mr. McMichael, we turn to you for the monthly financial report.
Okay, let me find the right button here. There we go. Okay, so in January, we began January with a cash balance of just over $10.5 million. We're ending the month at approximately $9.5 million, which is exactly where we would have anticipated. You'll notice on the revenue side that because a portion of our revenue comes from our referendum, which is property tax, we do not receive that until more in the middle of the year when people pay their taxes in May and November. And so, as most of our expenses, as you know, are salary and benefits, which are very regular every 2 weeks. So as we start the year, our balance will tend to decline, awaiting the referendum revenue in the spring and then again in the fall.
Thank you, Mr. McMichael. I open the floor up to questions with regards to the monthly financial update. Well, it's not necessarily a question, just something to point out. The property tax that we see across the top there for year in full, that is what we're expecting for the this year, 2017 referendum.
Yes, and along with that is the property tax, the financial institution tax, and the excise tax, and the CVET taxes. That's all associated with the referendum.
Oh, it is? Okay. So then, it is our hope that when we have a referendum vote on May the 2nd, that will resume. And if not, then that we are missing a major chunk of our budget.
We absolutely would, beginning in 2018, yes.
Okay. Thank you. Pam?
And we have the projected 2017-18 basic grant from the state, but we know that that's going to go down because, or not down, but we're not getting as much from the state this coming year as we did before. We're getting, isn't the state talking about 1%?
Oh, I'm sorry. They are talking, the governor's proposal was 1%. That would be for 17-18.
Yeah, that's what I said.
So it wouldn't be down, but it...
I didn't mean down. I just meant down from what it was. I mean, what we received prior to this,
But
we will not be receiving as much.
In terms of the increase, the increase that we see from the state this year and last year was significantly more than 1%.
Yeah.
Is what's now being projected.
So we're projecting that we're going to be getting less from the state. I mean,
We're
that's what's...
The increase from the state is going to be far less. It would appear that it's going to be far less this upcoming biennium, which is 17-18, 18-19, than what it was the last 2 years.
So that makes our referendum even that much more important.
It does, because what's out there now is about half the current inflation.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Well, thank you for the update, Roger.
Thank you.
And moving into the superintendent's report.
Thank you. A couple things. Just want to make everybody aware that ISTEP begins this week. Amy, in regards to that, in there 2 parts this year, would you just highlight that for me?
Yes. This week begins ISTEP Part 1, and most of our schools are participating in paper pencil. We do have one school, they had the option they could do online, and we do have at Forestdale in our 5th grade, they're doing it online, the first part. And then the second part of ISTEP will begin April 27th, the last week in April, and that will be Part 2, and that will be online. So they'll be doing ISTEP online just as they have in years past.
Thank you. And also, I want to report back to the board the process that we've had in reference to the referendum. I gave my recommendation on the 23rd of January. The last meeting, the board acted on that recommendation to go to referendum. I want to report that the necessary action by county officials has taken place. The question has been approved by DLGF, which means that the referendum question will be on the ballot May 2nd. As stated in previous and in my report to you on the 23rd, we consider this a very important issue. As highlighted back on the financial, it's 14% of our operating budget. We encourage all of our constituents to become familiar with the issues and exercise their right to vote on May 2nd, but please go to the referendum tab, again, to the board. The information that I presented and other information is on the referendum tab on the district website to highlight the facts related to the recommendation and the proposal. And now, the item is scheduled to be slated on May 2nd. All the necessaries have been done.
Well, thank you. Is the ballot question on our website as well, so people know what it looks like?
No, the question is not. We just got approval of that. So
Okay.
We can do
Is that something we can add to the website?
I think we can, but I'll verify that with David Day.
Okay. And I know it was brought to my attention that we now have a PAC in the community as well.
We do.
Okay. So perhaps they will be out there and people will be interested in supporting the referendum.
Yeah, like we said, we encourage people to become familiar with what's going on and encourage them to read the information. And I've clarified a number of questions about the facts, and it's been well received by our community.
Is there a way to track how many individuals have gone to the referendum tab on our website to see if it's getting any traffic?
We can do the analytics on that, right, Christy?
Fantastic, thank you.
Mhm.
Next, we have some board report. Yes, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Are absentee voting and early voting available for the special election as we have for the primary and the general election?
I know that David Day, General Counsel, was looking into that. I have not heard verification on that to date. He's scheduled to give us that.
Okay.
We'll follow up on that.
Any other questions? Okay, well, next we're going to move on to our board reports. I know we have two, one from Legislative and one from Parks Board, so we'll start with our Legislative report. Mike?
Thank you. The legislature has reached the halfway point. Actually, today is the last day for the House to pass bills out of the House, and tomorrow will be the last day for the Senate to pass bills out of the Senate. So what that means that at this point, anything that is not passed from one house to the other is, I guess, quote-unquote dead. But that doesn't mean it's really dead, because items can be added to other bills as amendments, so things that we have seen go away somehow, if they've got the appropriate backing, can come back. The plan is for them to end session a couple days early, because the firefighters convention is going to be in town that week. And a lot of legislators don't have a place to stay. So, and I guess they use that as encouragement to get their business done and get moving. So, before we get into Indiana, as an update, as you know, we sent a letter to our U.S. senators asking them to oppose the nomination of Betsy DeVos as Education Secretary. I do want to let you know that I did call Senator Donnelly's office and thank him for his opposition to that nomination. And as we all know, she was eventually approved by the Senate for that position. So I'll sit back and see what her agenda is. In terms of legislation that's being considered in Indiana, as of February 2nd, the Indiana School Board Association was tracking 114 educated-related bills. A couple that have been in the news recently, House Bill 1004 on pre-kindergarten education, authored by Representative Benning, did pass the House after some failed amendments and has been referred to the Senate Committee on Education and Career Development. According to the Indiana School Board Association, on the surface, this looks like a bill that we can support, the expansion of preschool education opportunities in Indiana. The catch for the bill is it also contains language that would allow for the largest expansion of school vouchers that we have seen. ISBA supports the expansion of preschool pilot program from 5 to 10 counties, but opposes the expansion of vouchers. You've also seen Governor Holcomb wanted $20 million for the project, which would increase it from $10 million this year and expand it from 5 counties to 10 counties. Senator Kenley actually proposed only a $3 million increase from the $10 million, and Representative Bosma said the budget will determine how much money gets to that program. The Senate also has a preschool bill that did not include expansion of vouchers. That's Senate Bill 276. ISBA was going to support that bill. As of this morning, that bill had not passed the Senate, so we'll have to see what happens. House Bill 1005 on Superintendent of Public Instruction, authored by Representative Bosma, proposes to abolish the office of the State Superintendent of Public Instruction starting January 10th, 2021, and provides for after that, the governor shall appoint a Secretary of Education. That bill has passed the House and has been referred to the Senate Committee on Rules and Legislative Procedure. Some other bills that we've been looking at, House Bill 1003, Student Assessment, authored by Representative Benning, proposes to replace ISTEP after June 30th, 2018, with a new statewide assessment program to be known as Indiana's Learning Evaluation Assessment Readiness Network, or otherwise iLearn. It provides that after June 30th, 2017, high school must administer end-of-course examinations in the subject of English, language arts, science, and Algebra 1. That bill has passed the House, referred to the Senate Committee on Education and Career Development. As you know, student testing was one of CCS's legislative priorities, and we'll need to see the details to really know if it's something that we can support. House Bill 1038, presented by Representative Tor on general fund referendum in school facilities. It provides that voters in a general fund referendum for a political subdivision beginning after June 30th, 2017, so it will not help us, may not approve a levy that's imposed for more than 8 years. As we know here, the current law provides for a 7-year limit. That's why we are proposing a new referendum. It also provides that a political subdivision seeking to issue bonds may promote a position on the public question using its own facilities. However, again, as of this morning, it had not passed the House. So this is one I know we've been involved with, and we thank Representative Tor for presenting it, and we'll continue to follow up to see what happens with that bill. Another bill that's been in the news is House Bill 1024, Prayer in School. I do believe, as of this morning, that it had not passed the House as well. House Bill 1043, referendum process and remonstration process. This is the bill that's actually one of our priorities about amending the threshold for referendums. It has passed the House and it's been referred to the Senate Committee on Appropriations. Another bill that wasn't on our radar till the beginning of the year, excuse me, House Bill 1009 on school financial management, authored by Representative Anthony Cook and sponsored by Senator Kenley, proposes to eliminate the school general fund, create an education fund to be used as the exclusive fund for all expenses related to instruction and learning, and creates a separate operation fund. It has passed the House after a number of failed amendments, and it has been referred to the Senate Committee on Appropriations, which is Senator Kenley's committee. The last bill that I have to talk about tonight is House Bill 1082. It's on Redevelopment Commission membership. It provides that after December 31st, 2017, one of the commissioners to a municipal or a county redevelopment commission must be a member of the governing body of the school corporation that includes all or part of the territory served by that redevelopment commission. As you'll remember, or maybe not, in our discussions, we decided not to make that a priority for Carmel Clay schools, but as of this morning, that bill had not passed the House as well. So that's where the bills, I guess, that really relate to our priorities, which are funding, referendum, and student testing, are in this current legislative session.
Thanks, Mike. That was a great summary. So I want to make sure I understand correctly. Today would be the last day they had to pass out of the House, and tomorrow's the last day they'd pass out of the Senate.
Correct.
Okay. Sounds great. Thank you. Any other questions? Okay. Next, we've got Parks Board. Katie.
The Carmel Clay Parks and Recreation is in charge of our extended school enrichment, so our after and before school care. As of January 31st, they had over 2,200 students who are participating in that program. And one thing of note that Extended School Enrichment administers a Commitment to Success survey, which measures 9 different performance areas, such as providing a caring atmosphere and providing a safe environment, which are viewed by the Parks Department as the most critical metrics for the program. Based on a scale of 1, strongly disagree, to 5, strongly agree, Extended School Enrichment has obtained an overall average score of 4+ in all 9 categories since spring of 2010. So this is 14 consecutive semesters of 4 out of 5 on, at least, on all of these categories, which I think is great that we are able to have this partnership with the Parks Department to provide the service. That's all. Thanks.
Thank you, Katie. Any questions? Do any other board members have any other reports they'd like to share? Well, meeting adjourned.